Hello, I'm Paul, and I know it's been a while, but I am back with another review, and this time I have Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Leader Class Megatron. Now, the first time I saw images of this figure online, he definitely piqued my interest, and it was one of those things where I wanted him right away. And the reason for that is the same reason a lot of people have been interested in this figure, and it's because of this robot mode. And as you can see here, this robot mode is extremely G1-ish. Excuse me, it's very G1 inspired here with the black, silver, and a little bit of red accents here. It's probably the most G1 looking robot mode Megatron we've gotten in a long time. And let me get a close-up here of this head so you can see this head sculpt. Really nicely done head sculpt. He's got quite a bit of light piping there. Now, even though this figure is very G1 looking, he is a tank Megatron. He does not transform into a gun. His vehicle mode is a tank. That being said, I still think the robot mode is one of the best Megatron's done, and I actually am a fan of Tank Megatron, and I like this one in particular. Now, you can see elements of the tank here with the back of the legs and the treads, and this backpack here, which is part of the tank as well. But that being said, if you're not necessarily a fan of Tank Megatron and you like classic Megatron, this robot mode really does a good job of capturing that. Now, as you can see here, he does have his traditional arm cannon here. Now, the way I have it, I have the little end pointing down and the fatter end pointing up, and that is and you can change that around. I personally like the little end pointing down, but you can change it around to have the fat end pointing downward. So it's it's even more like the G1 days where he had that fat kind of, I think it was the scope of the gun that was his arm cannon pointing down. Now, he does have this red bit up top is a missile that does shoot out. Let's see if I can get that kind of down again. And I kind of like that pointing out, but it's totally personal preference. However you like it, he can do both. Let's see if I can get this out of here. No? Okay. I always have trouble getting, oh, there we go. All right, shoot out. So it does shoot out. A couple things that come in its package. He does have, let's get this out of his hand. This gun here, which I'll get into a little bit more when we get him into his tank mode and his transformation. He has some decals with both Autobot and Decepticon logos. And he has this kind of nifty Megatron card with some cool art on it. Now, talking about this robot mode, there are a couple things that bother me. Mainly, it is the shoulder joints here. They are jointed with this tube here, and it's part of his transformation. And these things are kind of a double-edged sword because they give him quite a bit of mobility here. But when you have them spread out quite a bit, if you wanted him to be in that pose, they make the arms look like they're kind of floating out there and disconnected from the body. And this part here isn't the prettiest bit. Now, as I've had them for a little bit, I'm starting to notice them less. Maybe I'm just getting used to them. Again, the backpack, not ideal, but it's pretty well done. The black bits are facing this way, so they kind of blend into the background. There's just the silver bits here that you can see. But honestly, the more I look at it, the less I notice them. Now, he has quite a bit of movement here. He does have a knee joint, and he also has hip here on both legs. He has a ratcheted elbow. And as I said, the arm, he does have quite a bit of movement kind of back and forth and around here. He does have a waist. It's pretty tight, but he does have a waist joint. And then his head, which it's not a ball joint. It is like a swivel and a hinge, but he gets quite a bit of movement around out of it, like actually 360. Yeah, so you can move his head around quite a bit. So yeah, he's a really stable figure, even though the backpack isn't immensely heavy, but so you can get him into some decent poses, and he's pretty stable. I'm going to start the transformation here, and I want to make note that I actually really enjoy this transformation. It is one of the best transformations I've seen in a figure in quite some time, and It has all the elements that I like. It doesn't leave him with a lot of kibble. The backpack is minimal, and he doesn't have a lot of panels and shell pieces. It all forms together really well. It's clever. It's not overly complex. It's everything a transformation really should be. So the first thing you're going to do here is slide these panels down, and they cover up the fists, and he has one on this side as well. The other thing is his legs, these feet. You're going to flip them up, and you're going to pull his crotch piece down here a little bit, and then we're going to take his chest piece and flip it up, and it'll cover his head. Make sure to kind of tilt his head back a little bit, and it should go flush there. And then I'm going to pull this crotch piece down a little bit further. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep it right here. I'm going to pull these arms out of the way, and I'll kind of deal with them a little bit later. And then I'm going to flip the legs here up. And if you look on the back, there's actually a peg, a spot in here where they clip into. And it's really simple. And he just clips in there. I'm going to do the other side. See if I can get him there. Yep, he clips into it. Oh, get the legs straight. I didn't have them straight when I started. So why they're a little weird. Okay, perfect. I'm going to pull this down underneath. Get this out of the way. Now, go to the top. I'm going to swivel the cannon so it's facing the right way. And there's actually pegs in this side here. So it attaches to the other side. Let's see if I can get them lined up. Oh, cool. I had some trouble with that earlier. I don't know why. I was just being silly. Come to the front. And this part, these actually do come apart. There's pegs that hold them together. And they hinge up. So you're going to push both of them up. And then turn them to the side. And they actually they fold in underneath this bit here. And there's actually a spot where they peg in to this bit up here. And let's see if I can get a better look at it. Yeah, they'll go in right there. And this part actually, the cod piece, or whatever you want to call it, actually kind of fits back here if I can get it positioned right. Oh, there we go. I think that's right. There we go. And it snaps in. And, oh, I'm sorry. And then this bit actually extends out. So there he is. This is, let's see if I angle that down a little bit. This is Tank Megatron. And I love this tank. I love this vehicle mode. This is one of the best tanks I've seen. I love the little detail here, all the little the blast panels. I love the color. The silver really, really pops. It's got nice little red accents. It's got a Decepticon logo there. And the turret does swivel. And the tank treads do work. They do move. Now, back to the gun that he did have. This actually splits in two. I'm going to pull them apart. And there's pegs back here for you to peg them in. And it looks awesome. He looks menacing. It really does. It's a really, really great vehicle mode. And honestly, this is one of the surprises and real highlights of this figure is a transformation. This vehicle mode is fantastic. I know not everybody's a fan of Tank Megatron, but if you are or are curious, I would definitely give this a shot because it's super cool. I'm going to bring him back. I can never figure out how to follow this. Bring him back to robot mode really quickly and get some size comparisons so you can see how he stacks up. And as I kind of mentioned earlier, because he is a leader class, he does stand toe-to-toe with Masterpiece figures. And if you have spots on your shelf, if you're looking to try to fill that with the Megatron, because I know there haven't been a lot of great bigger size Megatron figures, this guy could definitely be an option for you. Let's see if I can get this guy out. I'm being really ungrateful with it, but I think that kind of is a testament to how well this is done, is that you can kind of be not super graceful with it and still get it done. Flip this around, pull the chest down, and let's get his hands out here. Yep, and get his hands out. Okay, So cool. For size comparison, the first thing I bring out is another Megatron. This is a Voyager Megatron, and you can kind of see how much bigger than he is. This is a gun Megatron. You can see with that giant scope. But this one definitely looks more G1-like in his robot mode. And I'll put him next to another leader class figure. This is a Skyfire. And you can see he's actually probably a head taller. The backpack here on Skyfire makes him look bigger, but he's probably a head taller. And then finally, bring out Masterpiece MP10 Optimus. And you know what? He looks pretty good next to him. I mean, Optimus is a little bit bigger, but he doesn't look terrible next to him. And final verdict on this character. There are a couple little pet peeves about his robot mode, and it mainly has to do with the shoulders here. But besides that, I love the tank mode, love the transformation. I think he looks good, and for the price point, it's a really good figure. I have to give him a solid 8, maybe 8.5 because of how much I really like the vehicle mode. Definitely worth checking out. Yeah, and that's what I think. If you guys have any questions, comments, hate it, love it, leave a comment. Otherwise, I will see you next time.